Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we are cutting a stunning piece of rough opal. Now I do actually have two of them. I'll show you them both now, but I'm only going to be cutting one of them in today's video. It's got a nice green play of colour and the colour bar is quite thick, so I might be able to make a crystal opal, or I might leave some potch on the back and we'll have a nice high dome regardless of what route or avenue I decide to go down. Shining a torch in the middle shows that it's quite a clean colour bar, so it should be a relatively easy cut. So if they're both clean, I might even be able to make a pair, but you'll have to stick around and wait for the next video when I cut the other one to see how well that one goes. This intro was super simple because the rough opal speaks for itself, so let's jump across to the wheels and start cutting. We're starting out on the 120 grit wheel. The aim of the game is just to remove this white cap and expose the colour underneath. I've said it before in many videos, but if you're new here or new to opal cutting, the white cap often hides the best colour underneath. So it's a simple job of removing it just to the point where the colour is exposed. We're starting to get down to the colour now, and you can see there's a large sand pit right in the middle, and it's very dark. I've got enough colour bar to play with, and it's thick enough to where I can remove it, but no doubt it might leave some residue of sand behind that I need to make sure I'm aware of. Now that I've got that out, the next challenge is that sand spot in the side. Again, I've got plenty of colour to play with, so it should roll out quite easily. And with a few touches on the wheel, like magic, it's gone. What a beautiful stone we're left behind with. So here's what we've ended up with. Nice, clean colour bar with green and blue colour play. Now I took off the white cap, but if I turn it over, I've been arguing with myself whether to remove that sand spot in the middle, but I'm scared it'll make the colour bar thinner and take off a lot of weight. So when it goes to cutting its sibling, I might tackle it from the other way, because I think that side is better. I'm going to study it for a bit and make a final decision, but we're going to get onto the pre-shaping before we get into the polish. If you're enjoying the video, remember to like it and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I've drawn a rough template on. I've said it in a recent video. This isn't a template, it's more of a guideline. I just want to make sure that my shaping is going to be right. I'm not going to cut down to the line, I'm going to leave some excess material behind, but I just want to know that the stone that I'm cutting is going to be a nice and uniform oval. I'm being very gentle rounding off these edges. I don't want to waste any material, but obviously it needs to be circular the whole way round. Now that I'm happy, I can wipe away that template and leave behind this nice chunky oval shape that would be great for a ring. I've dopped up the opal. I've skipped that step because, you know, you've seen it a million times before, but it presented a problem when the stone was dry. I've got a sand pit in the edge that I didn't see when it was wet, and it's also cracked. That's going to chip off really easily. I'm going to grind the wheel away whilst it's dry. Now I don't recommend this to anyone at home who's just a hobby cutter, but if you are going to do it, please wear a mask, because silica dust in the lungs is no joke. Once the crack is out and the shape is perfected, well, you know, almost perfect, I can jump across to this 400 grit wheel and begin to really dial in that shape and make a nice cabochon on the top by rolling the setting edge. I'm really happy with how this stone is turning out. You can see it's a beautiful play of colour, a nice brightness of green and blues. it's important that I made sure that the dome was even, because there's obviously a crack that came out of the side with that chip. The rest of the dome needs to be perfect. And what a beautiful day it was. Inspecting the stone under a loupe, there were still some small sand spots in the face that had to come out, leaving quite a flat top. It's a bit of an issue when it comes to having a nice high dome, but I can't leave sand in the face, so it had to go. I'm onto the 600 grit wheel, where I'm just removing any previous scratches left behind by the 400 grit wheel and preparing a really nice pre-polish. Skipping ahead to the 3000 grit wheel is just repeating the same steps, removing any scratches, making sure everything is nice and even across the whole stone before we move on to a final polish. Just check it out, it's like a ball of confetti. Well, an oval of confetti. Here's the cerium oxide polish and the all-important reveal of the final stone. Check it out. Isn't it stunning? So there we have it, folks. A crystal opal that weighs 2.1 carats. Honestly, I was hoping for 3 carats, but with the chip that came out of the edge, which meant if there's a chip in the edge and you roll the dome over, you have to make the rest of the dome perfect. Otherwise, when you go to set the stone, it's going to have this weird incrop of metal, this invasion of metal from the setting edge. So you have to make everything uniform. There was also a small sand spot left in the face, which meant that I couldn't have a really nice high dome. I had to have quite a flat top because the sand went quite far in, so that had to be mitigated. So 2.1 carats, medium dome, medium to low dome with a brightness of 3 makes it about 450-500 pounds, around that mark. So not as much as I was hoping for. I paid more for the 2 opals, so we've got to have our fingers crossed the next stone cuts something similar, and then I'll be in the green, but you'll have to stick around and wait for that. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please like it, subscribe if you want to watch more. I have plenty of other videos and more on the way, of course. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. It's much appreciated that you watch, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Ciao.